Good afternoon. Welcome to this day of opportunities, possibilities, miracles, and choices. I greet you this day with the greetings of respect and say it's very good. Excuse me, I'm going to try to make it a slight adjustment. It's very good to see you today and to have you join with us in this mindful community on this special day. I want to thank all of you for sharing the video last week, for the many views that we got. That was great. That was very encouraging and very supportive, so I appreciate that a lot. So this last week, we just went through Thanksgiving holiday. How's your family? How did everything work out for you? I had a chance to go down south to Georgia, spend a little time with my father and family and friends, and so it was good. How about with you? Is all your family and everybody still healthy and well? I think we've almost become that. Those of you who have been a part of this mindful community for a while, we've become something like a mindful family together, so that's great. So, I wanted to take a minute to recap what we did last week. So last week we dealt with beliefs, and are you carrying around those unknown beliefs that belong to somebody else? Remember I said that I was quoting Carlton Pearson, who said, ask the questions, answer those questions, so get the answers, and then question the answers. Did any of you actually do that? Did any of you actually find out what it's like when you ask certain people why they believe what they believe? Did you ask yourself why you believe what you believe? Where did your beliefs and ideas come from? Somebody else told you that. Did you look for truth versus confirmation? Did you assess whether the things that you have been believing and living by are true, are consistent with where you're going, and are they relevant? Did you do that? Let me give you a reminder of a very valuable tidbit of information. 10% of the population will do it. 10% of the population are those deal closers, those problem solvers, those people who look deeply into themselves. 70% will continue to do whatever's popular, familiar, and comfortable. 20% will continue to drift through life unsure and uncertain of why things are happening, even when you give them an opportunity to assess that. So have you noticed that when you've had a few conversations with a few people, when you've talked to them? So hopefully you did. Which brings us to this part of the day where we relax and breathe, and let's just do that for starters. Relax, inhale, smell the roses. Blow out the candle. Smell the roses. Blow out the candle. Relax. Inhale, smell the roses. Blow out the candle. Our time to relax and breathe. And when I think about what I wanted to share, it seemed like the camera might be a little crooked. Let me see if I can turn it with I turned it too much. Okay, maybe that's okay. When I think about what I wanted to share for this relaxing and breathing, I thought about my father when I was down south and his generation. So he's 97 years old, and he often talks about what things was like when he was younger. And I talked to both my aunts, 94, and they talked about what life was like. One aunt was telling me that she stayed in the house cooking and cleaning and doing things, and others worked in the field. That was their life. My father talked about his journey. None of them talked about the need to relax and breathe. And there was a reason why. It's because of our internal intelligence, the wisdom that's inside of our bodies, and that's what I want to share with you right now. Do you know that your body will tell you when it's time to relax and breathe? They didn't need to do that because they were working. So if you want to relax and breathe, exercise, do some work. Work out or either work. And when you finish working, because I've been around people and I've worked myself, at the end of it, your body will say, let me relax. Let me sit down and relax and breathe a minute. It's natural. Your body is naturally inclined to take you to that place of relaxation and breathing. But in 2017, our work doesn't always dictate physical exertion. We can work without working up a sweat now. Matter of fact, there's some people, especially those who come from that different culture, that don't believe you are working unless you're working up a sweat and your hands have gotten a little rough and dirty. But we do different kinds of work today, right? It's intellectual, it's emotional. We do different types of work. So we have to find some way to physically exert ourselves. When you physically exert yourself through work or working out, your body will naturally cause you to relax and breathe. If you don't have that kind of activity, or if you're physically unable to, then you use some of the other many strategies that we've talked about over the last several months. But if you have the ability to get up and get out and move around, work or work out, and watch how your body forces you to relax and breathe. So that's the tip. Exercise, work or work out. You might find that your body will take over for you and get you to that peaceful place. That's our tip. Now bringing us to our mindful moment, we are in the series of these 12 life-changing lessons from the airport. Last week was the unknown baggage that you may be carrying. This week is also a good one. It's about deciding whether you want to travel first class or coach. Whether you want to travel in a regular seat or whether you want to sit in the exit row where you've got some extra room. Let's deal with the first class or coach. The first time that I rode in first class, it was an experience I wasn't even aware of. I sat down, and as soon as I sat down, the flight attendant, Mr. Gentry, well, that caught me off guard right there. I hadn't given my name to my knowledge. Mr. Gentry, yes. Would you like some orange juice or a newspaper to read? Yes, I would. So I was able to have that. They brought refreshments, and I was sitting there looking at the paper and drinking juice. It was amazing. There are certain things that comes with first class. Now, when you're traveling coach, that's a different setup. You might sit on the aisle where I sit sometimes, and then, that cart comes by and it may bump you on the arm, or you may be on the end, or you may be squeezed in the middle. It's a different kind of traveling. So we're going to travel through life anyway. The question is, how do you want to travel through life? First class or coach? So what does first class mean in terms of our life? Well, first of all, you have to understand that in life there is a first class. There is a coach. And there are some people who in life, they want a first class life. They want a first class health. They want first class relationships. They want first class a career or job and those kinds of things. But they're only willing to pay coach prices. They don't want to pay the price that you have to pay to be able to have certain luxuries that you're able to get. But they want to have those luxuries. They don't want to, and there is a cost. It's never too late to upgrade your ticket and travel in that new way, or travel first class. So first class, first of all, does not mean that you have to have the newest of everything. You don't have to have the newest car, the newest house, the biggest bank account, the strongest, most handsome husband, or the most beautiful wife. You don't have to have, or even be in top physical fitness shape. But you have to have a higher quality of operation. That's available to you. And just like you see people when they get on the plane and they go past people in the first class, or people sitting with their legs all stretched out, sometimes they're mad at them as if they did something wrong while you squeeze your way to the back. Do you do that in life? Are you able to be comfortable with where you are and take the responsibility of acquiring the things that you need to have a first class life? What about your health? You want a first class health. You see people who are healthy and fit, and their clothes are fitting them a certain way, and they look good when they go out, and they're healthy and good doctor's reports. Are you willing to pay that price to have that level of health? Do you have that kind of discipline? Right? And that's a part of the price, the discipline to not eat whatever you want, whenever you want, to exercise, to drink like you should, to stay fit, to sleep as much as you can, to keep stress out of your life? Are you willing to pay that price to look how you want to look in the mirror? Or when you stand on the scale, to have that first class journey as you travel through life? Or are you more comfortable just doing what's familiar and what's popular for you? What about your career? You want a first class career? Are you willing to do what's necessary to get up early and stay up late and make the calls that's hard to make and make the decisions and all the things that go with running your own business or having the kind of job that you want? You have to be willing to go into the darkness. I talked about that months ago. The darkness means going into that unknown area. Many are not willing to. They just want to do what they've always done and what they've seen people do, as opposed to going into that area that's unknown, because there's certain stars that only come out at night, that you can only see at night. Those who have designed their own jobs and their own careers and go to jobs that they love, they put in a certain kind of work. They've paid a certain price to be. They've chosen to maybe not hang out, not go out, not buy certain things, not do certain things, so they can have the kind of job that they want to have. Same thing is true with your finances. You want to not be over your head in debt. You want to financially be secure. Whatever's comfortable for you. Are you willing to pay that price to do that? That means not buying something every time you see it. Are you willing to pay the price to have the finances that you want to have? There's two guys that travel around the world, and they talk about minimalism, and that's reducing everything to the lowest denominator, only having the things that you love and reducing that to very small and finding a peace and contentment with that. Are you willing to pay that price? What about as far as your relationships? You see people out there happy and enjoying the mate that they're with, male or female or their partner, whatever they have chosen their mate to be, and they're happy and contented. First class relationship for them. Do you look at them frowning, complaining, oh, she's not all that, or he's not, I remember when he used to, or she used? Are you upset with somebody else that has, for them, a first class relationship? Might not be the one you would want to be in, but they're happy. Are you willing to pay the price to have the kind of relationship that you want? The price I'm talking about is taking the time to know who you are. Self-examination. Looking at yourself in the mirror, asking the hard questions, answering those questions, questioning those answers. Are you able to look and see, wait a minute, here's my strengths. Here's some of my weaknesses, areas I'm not that strong in. Here's some things that I personally need to improve on, and then be about the business of isolating those things and initiating some action to make sure that you are bringing the best you to a relationship. Then moving the blinders away so that you can clearly see the person in front of you that you're trying to have a relationship with, and that your vision is not clouded by emotions, by past experiences that you have had, and hurt, misinformation, distorted beliefs, so that you can see that person for who they are, that you can communicate with someone and build the kind of relationship you are. You willing to pay that price to have that kind of relationship, or are you just hoping that you meet the right person? Hoping that God sends you somebody special. What are you doing to get that first class relationship? If that's the way you want to travel. So same thing is true when I was talking about the exit row, right? So let me tell you how that works. In the exit row, because some flights like Southwest, which I travel a lot, doesn't have a first class section, but they do have an exit row, a place where you can stretch your feet out. Here's what they say. When you sit on the plane in the exit row, they say, listen, I need a commitment from you verbally that you're willing to help and assist if we're in an incident and somebody needs help getting off the plane. Are you willing to do that? I need a commitment of that. If you don't say yes, you say, well, we'll reposition you somewhere else because there's responsibility with sitting in this exit row. That's a true story. That's the way it is when you travel. Same thing is true in life. When you have access to certain opportunities and possibilities, are you willing to aid and assist someone else who might need some support in that direction? I know people sitting in the exit row of life. They have access to knowledge. They have access to resources. They have access to connections and things of this sort. And their attitude is, no, I got mine. Let them get theirs. There is no sense of responsibility to help someone else because you're now there and they're trying to get to where you are. There's no sense of responsibility to help someone get there, even though they may have the knowledge and the access. If you were in that position, what is your attitude about helping someone else get to where they're trying to go? Or do you function with a scarcity mentality? And if the plane comes down, I'm going to be the first one off of here. Or there's not enough for everybody. What is your mentality for the first class life that you live? Or the exit row of life that you have? How do you stand? How do you sit? Last point about this, because I can't give it all to you. We just don't have enough time. But the last point of this is if you happen to be in a coach seating, because everybody can't fit in the first class, and you're going through life and or you're on that coach. Okay, imagine this. You're sitting on the coach and you're squeezed next to a couple of people on either side or on side, and they may not have the same concern about hygiene that you have, and how do you manage that? Sometimes you have to just put on some headphones and go to a different place. So if you're in a situation in life and you're not able to move and relocate and upgrade, and you have to manage this at least for a period of time, maximize your moments. Make the best of where you are right now while you plan for your upgrade so you can have the ideal life that's possible. How are you traveling? Are you traveling first class or are you traveling coach through life? That being said, I encourage you to look for an opportunity to assess where you are. See where you are in life. See if you can move into that 10% category of being reflective and asking the questions and really having a conversation with somebody who can be honest with you. Where are you in life? Have you just accepted, what's going on? Accept the thing, well, this just this way, like you don't have an option. As my good friend Lawrence in Baltimore, used to be in Baltimore, said, it's never too late to improve yourself. It's never too late to upgrade your ticket. Are you willing to do that? Look for an opportunity to assess where you are and consider, are you willing to pay the price to have the health you want, to have the relationship you want, to have the financial situation that you want, to have the kind of career or the job that you really want to have, that you don't have to complain about. Next, consider the possibility of living that ideal life, of traveling through life with comfort and not being overwhelmed in debt, having the kind of health that you want, or at least you're working on it. Consider the possibility of that happening. Looks like we lost our ambiance for a minute here, didn't we? Consider the possibility of that very thing happening for you. And lastly, expect and experience a few surprises like we had here. Expect miraculous things to happen when you reposition yourself. There are possibilities for you that you're not even aware of, and they won't even show up until you reposition yourself, until you make that upgrade. Expect and experience miracles and great things to happen for you when that comes up. That being the case, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it very much. It's always a pleasure. And as a final reminder, share this video, share the message with someone, have the conversation, be that 10%er. And remember, December 22nd, it's all in order. One cause, one performance, one night only. Did I tell you that Roger Weaver is going to be my music director that's handling my first class band? Did I tell you Tasha Sampson is not only my vocal coach, but going to be handling the background singers of the flight attendants, my background singers? It's going to be a good night. If you want to just come out and support the cause, raise your awareness a little bit about Alzheimer's, be around people who understand what that experience is like. A relaxed evening, jazz-like atmosphere, laid back. I look forward to seeing you. Look forward to seeing you next week. And until we connect the next time, travel well with respect.